Hello, everybody. Thank you for downloading episode 93 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. The year is almost over, but your chances to see Mark and I live are not, because Saturday, December 17th, we're going to be in LA at the Theater at the Ace Hotel with the rest of our Work Juice pals doing one more thrilling adventure hour before we go on an extended hiatus. So you do not want to miss that. You can get tickets online. Just look up Thrilling Adventure wherever they are. Thrilling ADV on Twitter, facebook.com/Thrilling Adventure Hour. You can also go to my personal website, hallublin.com, and get tickets there. You can also get tickets right now to see Mark and I live in the Bay Area on Saturday, January 14th as part of San Francisco Sketchfest. We're going to have a great live show. We've got Carter Parton Rogers opening for us and some very thrilling guests. And I'm not even going to tell you who they are. It's going to be a surprise, but a great surprise. I promise you that. You can get tickets and find more info at sfsketchfest.com. And also finally in March 4th through the 11th, 2017, Mark and I are going to be part of the Joco Cruise. We're going to be improvising. We're going to be recording live We Got Thises. That is how you pluralize it. I just decided right now. You can get a cabin. They're still available. Just go to Joco, Joco cruise.com for more information and to get your cabin right now. And also, if you're enjoying this show, give us a rating and review. Tell your friends. Spread the We Got This love. But for now, just listen and enjoy episode 93 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, Best Novelty Song.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, listeners. Hal, how are you?
I'm good. It's only been a little while since we recorded previously. We're still in Brooklyn in one room.
I know. It's so nice to be in the same room as you.
Yes.
You know who else it's nice to be in the same room as?
Tell me.
Jonathan Coulton.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Oh,
Also, John Hodgman is here.
I'm here.
He's in the background staring at us.
Yeah.
Like a specter.
You don't have a microphone for me, so I'm just going to yell from the stairs.
This is good. This is like 101, podcasting 101, is make sure you have a guest who's speaking from far away in the room and doesn't have his own microphone. People love it when the audio's a little bit hard to deal with.
Yeah. Well, I don't think of it as hard to deal with. I think of it as environmental.
Yeah. This is just what it's like in this room, i.e.
Right now.
John Hodgman is here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you don't have a flight of stairs with John Hodgman on it? Sorry.
You should.
Jonathan
Go to
Coulton.
johnhodgman.com. You can get one. If you have a flight of stairs without a John Hodgman, I know where you can get a Hodgman.
We do too. He's right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Please come and get him.
Jonathan Coulton.
Yes.
We have brought you here today because you are a world-class musician who injects much humor and wit into his lyrics. We would like to talk to you today about the world's greatest novelty song.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for those kind words. And second of all, thank you for having me here.
It's great.
I'm delighted to be here.
We're so excited.
This is great. The honor is ours.
Well, I think it's all of us are feeling honor at this point.
There's a lot of honor going on.
A lot of
around this
honor in the
table.
room.
We're feeling filled with honor.
Yeah.
Boy, this is fantastic.
You guys, we should all get medals for this.
I think we probably will.
Yeah.
We're
just
We're getting the sign from John Hodgman to move along. This actually was not listener submitted. Somebody had suggested best Weird Al song. But I think the larger world of novelty songs is interesting because we have to start by defining exactly what a novelty song is.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Do you consider any of your music to be novelty?
You know, I do. I think I have to because I was thinking about this a lot. And I honestly, I have this problem, which is that I have a wide range of songs that I like to write. I like to write songs that are purely comedy songs, but I also like to write songs that are sad and songs that are about love and stuff. And so, sometimes the comedy tends to overshadow things, and I bristle a little bit at the term novelty because it feels a little dismissive.
Right.
But I think sometimes it's accurate. I mean, if you want to say that a novelty song is a song that is primarily meant to be funny, right?
Sure.
I guess
Generally.
that's the idea. There's not a lot of serious novelty songs.
Right. Though we were talking about one a little bit ago with the teddy bear. What's the name of that song?
Bear.
Teddy Bear. About a
Red
kid on a
Sovine.
CB radio.
The Who song?
Red Sovine.
I don't think
That's
I know
Ken
that song.
Plume, our producer, who is also live in the room with us.
Yes. I've never heard of that song.
Generally, he's on the other stairs. But he has all this gear in his lap.
You
on
guys
those
need more
stairs.
microphones.
We need one on the stairs for sure. Or at johnhodgman.com.
Well, wait, this song Teddy Bear is a serious novelty song?
It's a serious novelty song. Or it's just unique storytelling within a song. But I think generally speaking, novelty songs.
We're looking for funny. And I would say also, when you think of novelty song, I think you think of the sort of classic age of the novelty song, which was maybe in the 50s and 60s, right?
Sure.
Sort of leading into the Dr. Demento.
Hello, mother. Hello, fodder.
That's a good example
Yes,
of a
And
novelty
we have
song.
selected the best novelty song. John Hodgman has told us what it is.
Great. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like us on Facebook.
If I may go a little bit into the history of the novelty song.
Oh, good. Yes.
The novelty song, not a way to dismiss a song. In fact, in Tin Pan Alley, there were three. They divided their music publishing into three different types of songs. It is dance music, ballads, and novelty songs. So the Tin Pan Alley publishers, they gave them equal. They had, maybe they were the bronze medalists, but they were still on the podium.
Right.
So and then in the 1950s, it was let me scan through this here. The 1950s, it was David Seville who came out with 3 number ones in a row. That was
The Witch Doctor.
The
was
Witch
one of
Doctor,
those.
Oh,
The
boy.
Purple People Eater,
Oh, geez.
and the Chipmunk song, which led to the Empire of Chipmunk.
Although
everything.
Purple People Eater is Sheb Woolley.
Performed by.
Performed by
I see.
Sheb
So
Woolley.
David Seville wrote and
He
produced.
wrote
I
Witch
see.
Doctor, Purple Eater, and the
He
Chipmunk
was the
song.
king of the novelty songs.
and the sped up vocal.
The sped up vocal,
That's his
was
thing.
like, that's his thing. That's what, I mean, David Seville is forever known as the wrangler of 3 sped up vocalists.
That's right. That's right. One of those sped up vocalists being a particularly ill-behaved chipmunk. Hilarious.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
a real troublemaker.
He's a real troublemaker.
Isn't the one thing that he does wrong in their Christmas song that he doesn't pay attention? Isn't that the worst transgression he has?
Yeah.
He just had, like, David has to say his name 9 times to get his attention.
Yeah.
Which could have been ADD, which is no joke.
Listen, if you've ever been a parent, you know how frustrating it is.
Exactly.
Put your
I was
shoes on,
not
put your
thinking
shoes
of
on,
them.
put your shoes on, put your shoes on, put your shoes on. That's what it's like in my house in the morning. That's just me talking to my wife.
Did your wife eventually put her shoes on?
No, she's still at home with no shoes on. I don't know what's the matter with her.
Man, she's gotta get those shoes. She's never gonna get.
How's she gonna get
You
out
don't
of the
want to
house?
walk around Brooklyn
Don't
with no
go
shoes
barefoot
on.
in Brooklyn.
You're gonna get tetanus.
I know. Well, it's her own fault.
I walked barefoot through Times Square.
Did you really?
Yeah,
For what reason?
Why?
you were there. It was the video to promote my 3rd and final book.
Oh yeah.
That is all.
Uh huh.
And I walked barefoot through Times Square, and it was liberating.
Yeah. Nothing bad happened to your
Nothing
feet.
bad happened to
No.
my feet.
Your feet are fine.
But they sweep all the sharp stuff away every night.
The sharps.
The sharp
I see.
sweepers.
Yeah.
Famous New York City sharp
Oh
sweepers.
yeah.
Is that the cleaning squad or the scrub squad or whatever? I see their trucks.
No, it's the sharp
around.
sweepers. It's a different
Okay,
group.
so
They're
different
the
group.
They're the precision cleaning squad.
Yeah. Those
like-
guys, if they fight, if they see each other, they have to fight.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's something to see. I did once see 2 Elmos fighting, but I've never seen 2
In Times
cleaning
Square?
crews.
That's
yes,
very-
in Times Square. I think it was like a turf war.
It's very un-Elmo.
It
to be
is.
fighting.
Either though, you would think they'd just be tickling each other.
Yeah, maybe that's what was happening. You
laughing.
misinterpreted it.
It was just a rough tickle. I don't like rough tickles, so
No, I don't
it looks
either.
like fighting to
No,
me.
thank you.
I got so insulted in Times Square when I saw Animal from the Muppets, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Animal from the Muppets! I have to meet him. I want to go get my picture with him and send it to Juliana because she and I are both big Muppets fans." So I go up and I take a picture with. I was like, "I'm so excited to take a picture with you." I take a picture with Animal, and then as soon as the picture was done, the performer artist underneath lifted up the head, the big animal head he was wearing, and went, "Hey, what's my guy's name again?"
Oh man!
I was like, what do you, did you just find a big Muppety looking head? Which explained why he was just wearing a red sweatshirt and jeans.
That was the rest of his
That was
costume.
the rest of his animal costume.
I
I guess that's on me for walking up to a guy who is, oh my God, it's Animal's head on my buddy's body.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
So kids, go learn who Animal
Yeah,
is.
if you're
'cause
gonna
he's a
put
great
on
Muppet.
if you're gonna put on a fake head, know whose fake head it is.
Yeah.
That's lesson 1.
Yeah.
Lesson 1 from today's podcast.
Have pride in your work.
Have pride in your work,
Please. When I think of novelty songs, I think of Dr. Demento.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had collections of cassettes in the 80s from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s at the time. And that was sort of my introduction to novelty songs. So
Yeah.
stuff like Benny Bell singing Shaving Cream,
Mm-hmm.
all of like the Tom Lehrer stuff he played, Spike Jonze and his City Slickers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that stand out to me when I think of sort of classic novelty songs.
Well, and the Dr.
Tom Lehrer invented the Jello shot.
What?
That is a
Wait.
true fact.
Tom Lehrer invented the Jello shot?
That's correct. Yes. I've heard that as well.
Is
I
that
think I told you that before.
It probably was John. Every now and then John will shout a true fact.
He was a college professor, right? Wasn't he?
Still is.
He still is a college professor. And he
still
just,
is.
just
Doesn't
took
do
a
the music
moment.
anymore,
He was
really.
like, I'll just do some music for a little while.
I will just really tear up and revolutionize the novelty song business for a few years, and then I'll
Yeah.
go back to my teaching job.
wow?
That's kind of the greatest way to do it.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got just as far as like the technical precision of that guy's songwriting and the lyrics in particular, just remarkable. And I think I was going to say, like, I feel like in the definition of novelty songs, you kind of need to exclude the parody song, because I do think that's a different genre.
Okay.
And especially when you're using a pre-existing piece of music to do that. And so, like, when you think of Tom Lehrer, that Elements.
Mashup, and it's the future.
Okay. The Elements song in particular is a fantastic concept and really amazing, but it's a pre-existing tune from a musical. So I feel like you have to exclude it. But yeah, Tom Lehrer's way high on my list as
Wait,
far
I
as
gotta
this show.
come in. So you're saying the novelty song does not include parody song?
For the purposes of this discussion, yeah.
So all of Weird Al, with the exception of
Well, Weird Al's written many
Christmas at Ground
of his
Zero is
own.
an original.
all
Yeah.
of Weird
Yeah.
Al
Nature Trail to Hell?
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
are out,
Albuquerque.
I think it's a different kind of song.
Yeah, I know that he wrote that. I misspoke, but I'm just
Yes.
making sure I understand.
We're just giving you a list of Weird Al songs that aren't.
Well, I don't know.
parodies.
Do you guys agree? Do you think that's an
I think
overly
Because-
restrictive?
because I mean, I would say that you are now eliminating one of the most iconic novelty song personalities for his best known works. If you are making that distinction, but it's fine.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to bring Weird
Just
Al
want you to
down
look
for
around.
years,
This is it.
and this feels like my opportunity.
John's reaction though is very similar to mine in that when I think particularly of Weird Al's really early work when he was sending Another One Rides the Bus and,
Sure.
and Rocky Road, like those early things that he was sending in that he like recorded in the bathroom at the college he was attending. Those feel like novelty songs to me because they had that essence of you had no idea that he was going to launch this gigantic career out of that continues to flourish. So had he only done those one or two initial songs and then had never been heard from again, would that still be novelty, or it's just parodies in general? 'Cause they're so well done.
Yeah, no, my feeling is that, well, first of all, the artistry of Weird Al is indisputable. He's a master of that. I think his original songs are great and funny, and I think his parodies are, because there are a lot of parodies out there, but when you listen to a Weird Al parody, you're like, oh, this is how it's done.
He also can sing.
He
in
can
any key.
No, he's a great musician, and he cares a lot, and there's something about the way he. I don't now know if this is true, but I feel like I heard in an interview about Weird Al. They asked him, like, what are some ideas that you have discarded that you were going to do and you never did? And one of them that I remember that still makes me laugh and is very Weird Al is that he was going to do, that song, My Own Personal Jesus? Mm-hmm. He was going to do My Own Personal Cheese Whiz.
Of course he was.
And it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But I feel like that is the thing that Weird Al does, is he gives you something that is so absurd, and that the the juxtaposition between the absurdity of my own personal cheese whiz and the sort of overwrought importance of that music is the thing that makes you laugh. And that is what I think he does better than anybody else in the world.
Sure.
I think Weird Al, at his best, a Weird Al song could end with him in his Hawaiian shirt, holding up his hand like, give me a high five. And you reluctantly like, man, that was really good. You have to give him one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I am 100% willing to eliminate the parody song from this, knowing full well that the original dissension from John Hodgman,
The Stairs Gallery is not happy at all.
even though realizing that the original topic was best Weird Al song, we augmented it to best novelty song,
and now he's out.
Immediately eliminated Weird Al.
But he's not out. He's still got good stuff.
Given that,
That's
and
true.
I apologize, Weird Al. Given that you can no longer include Weird Al in best novelty song because there is no Weird Al original that is as iconic as some of the iconic novelty songs you've already named.
Sure.
Hence Weird Al. You can now say a separate category, best Weird Al song.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we will do
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
episode.
He has been
No,
separated.
do that right now.
Oh, do it right now?
Oh, sorry. You want to save that?
Yeah, we're going to save it.
We haven't done any research.
Yeah,
My
we-
goodness.
Eliminate this conversation.
I haven't read the Wikipedia article about Weird Al the way I did in the cab on the way here about novelty
Look,
songs.
I don't want
Where do you think I got all the Tin Pan Alley stuff?
Deep. This is
I was
deep.
literally, that extra few seconds it took me to find out what year David Seville did those songs is because I was typing W-I-K and hoping it would autocomplete so
Yeah.
it didn't take too long.
I have a frantically and poorly written list of novelty songs
Oh, that's
that I
great.
pulled from Dr. DeVento's
just off the
discography.
top of your head. Just for the stairs.
Yeah.
Best Weird Al song.
Oh, jeez.
Like the iconic Weird Al song. Eat it.
Eat it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It's pretty good. I do like King of Suede. King of Suede is pretty great.
Thanks, Wade, is good. I like Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah.
I like that whole album as, I think,
Trigger
one of my
Happy
favorites.
was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Off the Deep End. You know that song?
What is that? I don't know that one.
Trigger happy every day, happy every day. It was like a surf kind of song about guns.
Well, that's the other thing he does. So
Yeah.
that's another kind of song is the style parody.
Yes.
Where he will do a
Is that
song
also eliminated?
by my definition of novelty song. Listen, what do we have if we don't have rules and categories?
Yeah, it's true. Complete chaos.
Yeah, we don't want chaos.
But
this
I mean,
is podcasting.
if you want a surfing song about guns, I think that Skeet Surfing from Top Secret,
Top Secret.
might be the winner in that category of violence and surf music
best,
combined.
best surf song about guns.
Guys,
Yeah,
later
that
on
is
we're
the
going to
best surf
do
song
a
about
Weird
guns.
Al episode. We're going to do best Weird Al song, then we're going to do best surf song about guns.
Yes.
And then, but right now we're determining the best novelty song.
Yeah.
So Hal, would you like to read your list?
Sure. I mean, I have a few here, and stop me. First of all, Shaving Cream by Benny Bell, which for some reason makes me laugh every single time I
I don't
hear
know
it.
Shaving.
How's it go?
Shaving Cream is it's like I saw an old man on the corner. He seemed to be quite in a snit. For when he slipped and fell over, he was sitting in a big pile of shaving cream.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So he
yes.
never says the proper S word.
There's a term. There's a term for
Sorry.
that kind of that technique. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a term for that kind of joke. In
for
a
that
lyric.
like turn.
For
Yeah.
that where you think
The
it's going to be a dirty
refusal
word and it's not.
occurs. From the stairs,
What's
yes.
the script? That's what they call it.
No, it's not the technical.
I think that you have to eliminate that one because that is based on a pre-existing tune, like Bonnie Lies Over.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
Jonathan Killjoy Coulton.
Oh,
Interesting.
thanks, Coulton.
Oh, good. We got plenty of others on the list.
We have Barnes
What if
and
there are
Barnes.
no original? What if we discover that there
There's
are no
nothing
original?
There's nothing original. Is Fish Heads based on an existing song?
That's a Johann Sebastian Bach.
Remember when Bach wrote?
Well, we can't do Dead Puppies by Ogden Edsel is based on I can't remember which piece of classic music.
Yeah, I should know.
Is it Pachelbel's Canon in D?
It might be.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I think that's the one. So we're eliminating that one as well.
It's
That's
like
a
having
boy.
Hodgman in the corner doing a circle of fifths while we're.
Can we go through the catalog of Spike Jones and his City Slickers?
Sure.
Because I think there are some really great ones in there. Cocktails for Two is pretty great.
How does
which
that
is a
one go?
lot of sound effects.
Yeah, this
No sound effects song.
It's the one that has the
John's so mad. He's so mad at me. Right. Yes.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the one I like the most is this political one, which is Interferer's Face, which is literally about breaking wind in Hitler's face.
Right.
The ultimate insult.
Which came out in 1942, I think.
Yeah, it was
It was
during the war.
a contemporary.
Yes.
People were all ready.
Yeah,
they
it wasn't-
they were ready.
He wasn't writing it in Berlin.
Yeah. No, he was not writing it in Berlin. But
I think he could get away with it.
If it came out in 1942, I like the idea that because we didn't invade until 1944, and Pearl Harbor was bombed in 1941. So World War II was happening. The
Yes.
U.S. didn't get in until late, but Spike Jones is going, I'll fight this war for them.
I'll take care of
I'm
this.
going to fart in Hitler's face.
The farting battalion, who were sent over in secret, and all were shot immediately. 'Cause they weren't
Fusiliers.
soldiers.
They're Fusiliers,
yeah,
right?
They were Fusiliers,
Yeah.
who were all shot and killed immediately because all they knew how to do was fart. But we remember them to this day with their Prospect Park statue, which you can go visit.
And the novelty song.
And the
About
novelty
them.
song, which plays forever.
How does it
plays
go,
forever.
that one?
That goes, when the Führer says, wie ist der Master Race? We say, Heil,
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 Heil.
right in the Führer's face. Yeah. That's,
Way too much enthusiasm for that, Mike.
Hey, look, I was trying to serve the function of the entire crowd.
Somebody is going to take that quote out of context,
Heil.
and you're going to be in trouble.
By Heil, I mean
Podcast
fart.
of The alt-right.
Mark Gagliardi, top conservative on Twitter.
That's right.
Check out his hashtags.
All right.
Tom Lehrer as well. Politically, he did National
That was the whole
Brotherhood
Spike
Week.
Jones canon?
Well, I mean,
let's go
just-
through the Spike
I'm-
Jones
I'm
canon.
I'm pulling a
good ones. Here's
couple.
one.
I'm
That's the good
pulling.
ones.
I'm pulling a couple highlights from there.
Remember, the Führer's face originally was from the Donald Duck cartoon. That was where it was first used and popularized, and then entered the hit parade after the Donald Duck cartoon.
That brings up a good point. So something that started in another media. So a lot of
Not
the
a novelty
great,
song.
yeah, that's
No,
not
that's-
a novelty
that's-
song. None of the Monty Python stuff
Yeah.
that was in the films or the television show.
Yeah, it's a
could count.
bit. It's a bit of a gray area. I think if it was, I would say something from a Broadway show. I don't know if I would count that because that's written for a specific purpose. I like the idea of the purity of a novelty song that was written to tell a joke.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
So what's one that stands out to you off the top of your head? One that just doesn't have to be what you think is the best. Just if I say novelty song, what comes to mind?
Well, when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I was thinking back to when I was a kid. My dad had a collection of 45 records, and there were a couple of songs that I thought were hilarious and wonderful, and they were novelty songs. And one of them was a song called "May the Bird of Paradise Fly Up Your Nose,"
Okay.
Great.
which was by a guy named what was his name? Little Jimmy Dickens.
Okay.
Was his name.
Oh yeah, he's a country singer, isn't he?
He was a country singer, but he did a lot of novelty songs in the I think the 50s and probably the 50s. And this song was about a guy who went through his day and did not and was very cheap. Like he had a cab driver who he was late for a plane, and he made the cab driver drive really fast. Cab driver got a ticket, and then he didn't give him a tip. And then the cab driver sings, "May the bird of paradise fly up your nose." And that was the thing. And I liked that it was about a guy who was a jerk. I do. It was about this
Okay.
guy. It was because it was about him. It was me. I did these bad things.
Yeah.
And people that said this thing to me. I thought that was very funny. There was also a song that my father only told me about, but I never heard. And the name of the song was Stick Your Finger in a Glass of Water. And here's how the chorus went. Stick your finger in a glass of water, take it out in the hole that's left. Is a measure of how much you'll be missed when you're gone, so don't kid yourself. That's the chorus. That's the chorus of the
This
song.
was a song that came out in the 50s?
This was actually in the 60s. So I had never heard this song, but I remember my dad singing it, and so
Willis Brothers.
I had to. Yes, that's right, the Willis Brothers. I had to call him this morning and say, "Was there really a song? Was there really a song called Stick Your Finger in a Glass of Water, or did I make that up?" And he said, "You know," he said, "I have a vague memory of being in a car late at night with my a cappella singing group, and we were driving, and maybe that song was on the radio, or maybe somebody told me about it, and I seem to remember it was by an act called Emil Clyde and the Dreamers. But there is no Emil Clyde and the Dreamers.
Emil Clyde.
Emil Clyde and the Dreamers.
And the Dreamer.
At his famous backup band.
And so he didn't remember who it was, and then I eventually found it was the Willis Brothers, but I still have not heard the entire song. I have only heard my dad sing the chorus from his hazy memory of this late night car drive in which he was told that it was Emil Clyde and the Dreamers, which apparently is a band that doesn't exist.
And the idea is stick a wet finger in your beehole. That's essentially what he's saying. Or is he saying,
stick your finger in a glass of water.
Yeah. The hole that's left is how much.
As a measure of how much you'll be missed.
There's not going to be a hole. How did you make this about?
Because it just sounds like get your finger wet and stick it in the hole that's left. Like, it is disgusting.
The hole that's
Thank
left.
you.
The hole that's left, yeah.
After
Thank
what?
Thank you, Staircase correspondent John Hodgman.
Yeah.
I messed it up.
Stick your finger in a glass of water, pull it out, and the hole that's left is a measure of how much you'll be missed when you're gone, so don't kid yourself.
First of all, left itself is slant rhyme.
It's not a rhyme at all.
Yeah.
It's not a rhyme at all.
Not at all.
It's also, it's a mean, not particularly funny thing to say.
It's also really convoluted. I mean, Hal thought it was about buttholes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, I think
did.
that's the extent of the humor. Is it's a very long, convoluted phrase to say nobody's going to remember you when you're gone, which I kind of like. It's so mean.
It's the spiritual antecedent of CeeLo's F.U.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Is that a novelty
CeeLo
song?
did it in two.
No.
Yeah, I would say- I would say
I
yes.
think of it as a revenge song.
No, I think
Because
it was
I don't
a
like
novelty
you,
song.
so I'm going to say because it's FU.
It's
It's funny.
so
It's meant to be.
It's a
meant to be
catchy,
funny.
provocative
Okay.
bit. Yeah.
It's fun. It is really funny.
It's
It is
It's
funny.
a comedy song.
I enjoy
Here's
it.
another question.
Yes.
How many songs by the Beatles are novelty songs?
You mean like the?
There's
Do
some album
number,
cuts.
how many?
Yeah.
you mean like "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" or "Piggies"? Like the things
Yeah.
that are more socially
I'm asking.
Maxwell
Is
Silver
Maxwell
Hammer.
Maxwell Silver
That's
Hammer.
kind of a novelty
Yeah.
song. Absolutely. No, they.
64?
Yeah, Octopus's Garden.
Octopus.
First of all the Ringo songs, obviously.
every Ringo
Ringo
song.
only wrote.
Let's give this one to Ringo.
Good job, Ringo.
Good job, Ringo. This is about an octopus. This is about being happy to hang out with an octopus. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. Yeah, no, the Beatles. The
Y'all
Beatles.
Submarine is a novelty song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and they're not even that funny. They're just sort of like weird.
They're
and-
silly.
They're
Yeah.
silly.
They write
Pastiche,
silly.
they're that music hall pastiche that they would do.
That's
Right.
It's almost they're
Maxwell
kids
Silver
songs
Hammer
almost.
it's a dark comedy, but it is comedy.
Yes.
I mean,
agree.
"Honey Pie" is like is a music hall song. Has that sort of even starts with?
You're
that.
talking about Honey Pie
She
or
was a
Wild
working
Honey Pie?
girl. No, I'm talking about "Honey Pie." No, "Wild Honey Pie." Get out here with your "Wild Honey Pie" nonsense. But I want to touch on the idea of the person of this, the narrator of a song being a bad person.
Yes.
And saying the bad things. Are you familiar with the song "Transfusion"?
No, what is that?
Transfusion is a song by Nervous Norvis, and it's about a guy who is constantly speeding and driving recklessly. So he's continually crashing. So you hear, he tells a story. He's like, "I'm humming down the street going 55 or whatever is fast at that time." And he gets
55.
into a crash.
That's pretty fast.
Whatever was
Quite
fast at that
This is very fast. All cars had a governor on them at that time that
Going down the
wouldn't let
street,
them go
going
past 40.
35.
But he constantly needs a transfusion. He needs a blood transfusion because he's been in an accident. So at the end of each, at the end of each chorus, he has a different, like, "Slip the claret to me, Barrett. Slip the blood to me, Bud." So that's the whole story, is him being a reckless driver and constantly stealing blood from people who probably were legitimately injured, helping others, or just by
that's
accident.
that's not a great way to live your life.
Yeah, he was a terrible person, but he doesn't, at no point does he go like, but I'm a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that the slip out the back jack, make a new plan stand. I
Okay.
feel like you got to work a little harder.
Yeah.
You gotta work
I've
a
been
little
sitting here
harder.
this whole time just trying to think of a rhyme for plasma. I
Miasma.
couldn't do it.
Give the
Oh,
plasma
yeah.
to me, Captain Phasma. As a appreciation.
Great. What other songs are on that list, Hal?
Let me just.
Yeah. It's great. I'm sure that the greatest novelty song of all time is the one that none of us have heard of but you.
What about Beep Beep by the Playmates, which is the song about the guy who thinks he's being followed by a Nash Rambler. So he keeps going faster and the car keeps falling and beeping. And
Sounds like a horror song.
Yeah, it's a horror song until at the end, the Nash Rambler who has caught up to him says, is asking how to get his own car out of second gear. His car is stuck in second gear. That's the whole thing. Is you think it's it's the classic Viper episode of G.I. Joe where the Viper is coming and
I'm coming to vibe the windows.
Exactly.
If anybody's listening to this, they're in their cars, and right now you are currently stuck in second gear, please do not honk at the person in front of you as a way of solving your problem.
Yeah.
Simply put the clutch in and put the brake on. And turn the car off and get out of it. That's disqualified for being stupid.
Yes. And we're also disqualifying 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover because it does that slip out the back jack. Here's a new Keeley. It's
not
also,
great.
I mean,
It's not great.
It's a gimmicky song.
It's a gimmicky song.
But not necessarily a novelty
I do like
song.
that. I do like that song.
Yeah.
though.
It's a great tune.
How about pop culture based novelty songs like Star Trekkin'?
Star Trek and
Star Trek Across the
your
Universe?
Pac-Man Fever.
Pac-Man Fever by Bucknell and
Disco
Garcia.
Duck.
Disco Duck.
Oh, dear.
That's all I thought was, what duck is that based on? Was my sincere reaction to that.
What duck is that?
You know that when ducks were, my dad got into mallard ducks for some reason in the mid '80s.
What do you mean
Like,
he
he-
got into
he's like-
mallard
like
ducks?
art, like
Yeah,
mallard
like,
art.
I have a box with a mallard duck on it. There's a painting. Now there's like a little painting of a mallard duck.
He was like, you know what? I need a thing, and this is going to be my thing.
yeah,
The,
that's
the stately mallard duck.
that was his midlife crisis was ducks. That's the answer.
Your dad,
I guess I'm a
your
duck
dad
guy
doesn't
now.
need a midlife crisis though because he already owns all the video games.
Yes.
He's got the foosball.
He's a man child, so he went to
Yeah.
ducks. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why he did that.
That's what grown-ups like.
You know what? It's sophisticated.
It's like duck.
It's sophisticated to have a wooden carving of waterfowl on your mantle.
It is.
Yeah.
That does say nothing says.
It says you've arrived.
Yeah, I'm here, everybody.
I can afford to buy fake ducks.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's how.
That serve no function.
That's how well I'm doing.
Except maybe every once in a while, the wife will put a bracelet around its neck that she doesn't want to forget.
What about the Curly Shuffle? That's another pop culture themed novelty song.
Man, I listened to that a lot.
What
Did
about
you?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Were you a fan of Curly?
No, I never liked the Three Stooges. I thought it had a good tune.
It did. It did have that.
I had very bad taste.
What about the Super Bowl shuffle?
That's a good
As a
question.
Bears fan, I gotta make
Have
that
you
my
li-
number one.
Have you listened to it recently?
Oh no, it's pretty.
I want to say
dismal.
it hasn't aged well, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't good. Then.
It wasn't good then either.
It was the equivalent of when an athlete hosts SNL.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're grading on a curve.
That's right.
So you got to grade the Bears on a curve.
And who were they? Who was the team that they were playing against in
The
that?
Patriots.
Right, because the Patriots had a counter.
Shuffle.
They did. They had a counter song and video. Oh, now I can't remember what it is.
The Patriots.
Do you
polka.
remember this, John? You
No, I was
you
just
lived
thinking-
in New England.
I did. I don't remember the Patriots. Yeah, they did something like that.
It was even worse than the Bears song. Now I have.
Was
to,
it like,
I have to
we're
look it up.
aware that we're gonna lose? It's gonna be tough, but what can you do?
Yeah. It's just a game. There's other
Yeah.
important things in the world, but we're gonna have fun, and everybody's getting ice cream.
Yeah.
They
I'm
say
Steve
we
Grogan.
have
I'm
to
also
do
there.
a rap
Yeah.
about football into the camera.
I'm the equipment manager. The kicker couldn't make it, so I'm here. Anybody want a hat? We are the Patriots. We're going to lose.
Now I
You can't find it.
can't
All
find it.
Well, let's not all pull out our phones. This is a podcast.
They don't know we're on our phones.
It's a podcast. Everybody reach for your phones.
I just looked up
quickly.
from the microphone across at Jonathan and Alan. Both are looking in their phones.
I just
I was
got to
just-
answer this text.
Yeah, I was
Hang on.
checking my messages.
real quick, guys. Let me just tweet this real
that
fast.
that led me down a path.
Yes.
Which the Super Bowl shuffle?
The Super Bowl shuffle. Now you're giving me a microphone.
I'm just
Now let me
aiming
down a
it
path
toward-
to what I think might be my musically and comedically top novelty song.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna hold back and
Oh, so
we'll get to that after the break, you guys.
Yeah, let's take a quick break to hear about some of the other great podcasts on the Maximum Fun Network. And when we come back, you'll hear that Hodgman pick straight from the stairs. Stay tuned.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Erin, and we host Throwing Shade, a political comedy podcast that's somehow horribly offensive and socially conscious.
If you want to know what it sounds like if the news drank straight vodka, check us out on Thursdays on Max Fun.
And we're the first Max Fun podcast to be turned into a TV show, so check that out January 17th on TV Land.
Throwing Shade. Politics, pop culture, wigs for days.
Are you in need of a shakeup? Max Fun Con is our annual comedy and creativity festival, and it changes lives. Max Fun Con West returns to Lake Arrowhead next June, and Max Fun Con East is back in the Poconos next September. Tickets for both are on sale right now, and they will sell out. Visit maxfuncon.com to buy your tickets today. We can't wait to see you there.
All right, during the break, we actually watched the response song from the Patriots organization, the Patriots, and we... No.
There's no actual Patriots that are involved.
There's footage of them.
Maybe they're there later in the video. We don't know.
Later. They actually rap later.
Maybe they do a rap in the middle.
Local studio singers
Mhm.
singing a very bad pop song.
Yeah. Yes. And then an hour later, they sang about like a local furniture store. They're just, like they were just. These were hired guns.
They worked all day on 10 different projects.
Yeah.
And the Mets had a similar song in 1986, which was done by a band, which was Let's Go Mets.
We had one for my hometown.
Yeah.
We've got a place in my heart, Knoxville.
Everybody's got a local
Sure.
song of some sort, but I don't think that would win. But
New York, New York.
Yes. Our stairwell
Best novelty
correspondent,
song.
Yeah.
John Hodgman on the stairs. You said that this made you think of your favorite. Do you want to reveal that at this time?
Yeah, thanks, Hal. It's John Hodgman here over on the stairs.
How's it looking over on those stairs right now?
Pretty good. It's a little windy. I'm probably going to have to go back in the van pretty soon, but I just wanted to let you know.
That windbreaker looks fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about that Bears song. It's like, does that count as a novelty song? Because the criteria is it's got to be funny on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was, I'm not sure that they were trying to be funny on purpose. I think they were trying to make a rap song.
Yeah.
And if they were being funny at all, it was in in that loathsome context of, listen to us try to do a rap song.
Yeah.
This dumb.
I think that is the extent
this
of
dumb
the
fad that isn't going to last.
Yeah, that's the joke that they were telling.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
And I found that joke to be awful, but it sort of made me think there are, of course, rap songs that are novelty songs that are not terrible white dudes pretending to rap, but are actual rappers doing them. And if the criteria is musical goodness
Mm-hmm.
and legit comedy,
Mm-hmm.
I hesitate because I don't want to call this song a novelty song because novelty song is kind of a gross category. And this is a good party song. But the Humpty Dance is maybe one of the funniest songs I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
It's still incredible.
Both how he's living and his nose is large.
Yeah.
I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. I use a word that don't mean nothing like
Loop did. Yeah.
Loop did.
Still.
It also doesn't actually rhyme with stupid. That's what's
Right.
fantastic
Yeah.
about that line. Why not, if you're
Shock
going to make up a
G,
word?
If you're out there, you still have my heart.
Was there another hit that they had?
Do what you like.
Was that where he originally said, grab him in the biscuits?
Yes.
Okay.
Do what you like.
Yeah.
Which is also
Because he does say, I'm the one that said, just grab him in the biscuit. And I was like, I don't know the...
I'm not
I know
familiar
this
with
song.
your
I'm
work.
not familiar with
Yeah.
your
I'm
catalog.
so sorry.
Like,
You don't know. No, Do What You Like is a great song.
Yeah.
And also funny. But Humpty Hump is clearly a comedic character. and
Yeah.
It's clearly a comedic song.
But they also did the song in Dan Aykroyd's Nothing But Trouble. That
Yes.
live performance. That all around the world, same song.
Yes.
And that's what did their career in.
It was. I saw that movie recently for another
Nothing But Trouble?
podcast called The Flophouse.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't want to talk about that movie.
Oh, okay.
That was-
We're sorry.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry you had to watch that. I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times because it was on HBO.
That was a hard one to watch.
Yeah, it's terrible. Along those lines, I think the early work of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, there were some novelty-ish songs. thrown
Nightmare
in
on
there.
My Street.
Nightmare on My
Yeah,
Street. Even
yeah.
parents just don't understand.
Parents
which
just
is
don't
the first hit.
understand. Total
Charlie
novelty
Mack's
song.
the first out the limo. I mean, they're all a lot of those songs on there are humorous songs, but
I mean, like this, you can use humor in songs. That doesn't make it a novelty.
sure, that's
There's-
that's
agreed.
The thing.
There's a bunch of gray areas. There's gray areas.
Really, you now admit that there's some nuance to this. It's black and white, no parodies.
I'm not even going to respond to your
Um,
angry.
So what about comedians who don't normally do music?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, comedians.
What about comedians who do whose music is not their main thing?
You're talking about Adam Sandler?
I'm thinking about Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie Murphy, Boogie in Your Butt.
Boogie in Your
Boogie in Your Butt is one of the weirdest, funniest
I had not
songs.
listened to Boogie in Your Butt.
Put a tiny man in your butt. Put a tin can in your butt.
I had not listened to that song since it was first out.
It's
And I have
lunacy.
children now. And my wife and I played that song for our kids. And they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's
And
a
they're
hilarious
right.
song.
It's a very funny song.
It is.
Yeah.
You just made me think, though, of another great Weird Al song, which is Got a Boogie. Which is got a boogie on my finger and I can't get it off.
Can't lick it off.
Yeah, exactly. That's some early. I think that might be his first.
That was
album.
off of the same album as My Bologna.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's some early stuff.
Um,
OG Weird Al.
Do you guys
OGWA.
do you guys know the song "When Your Chewing Gum"? Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? It's by Lonnie Donegan. I'm asking if you know. I'm asking if you know.
yeah.
It's cutesy.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't like.
Nobody likes that one. Fair enough.
That song was, I feel like that song was in the like book, the hymnal in the music class in my elementary school. Like that was, you remember when like that was what music class was? Is you'd go to music and you'd open the book and you'd sing like "This land is your land" all together, and one of those was the chewing gum song.
Which is why it blew my mind that "This Land Is Your Land" was written so recently.
Yeah, right. No, it felt very old.
As I became an adult, I was like, you mean like Stephen Foster didn't write "This Land Is Your Land"? This was by a guy that when I was a kid, maybe was still alive. What year did he die?
I know.
Christopher Cross, he's still alive.
Do you remember this one from a similar context? Get out the way for old Dan Tucker. He's too late to get his supper. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Another old.
That was another one of the
super old-timey.
on somewhere else with that one.
Yeah. No, there's no swears.
It's real disappointing.
There's no swears in there. Again, it's a slant rhyme, not actually a rhyme.
Supper doesn't rhyme. You know what does? Shaving cream.
There are a couple here. We should talk about "Hello Mutta, Hello Fata," which was brought up by our stairwell correspondent John Hodgman earlier.
Parody lyrics to a
Which is
pre-existing.
It is parody lyrics to a pre-existing
I know.
song.
It's true. It is parody.
Dance of the Hours.
Dance of the Hours.
Yeah, that is Dance of the Hours.
Dance of the Hours. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately,
It's a great song.
I had that was one of the first songs that I probably memorized all the lyrics and would like proudly sing it.
Right, like listening to a cassette and stopping and rewinding
Yeah.
and writing them down on your spiral notebook paper.
Yes,
That is
in my trapper
That's
keeper.
real
in the trapper
specific
keeper.
for you to have not also.
No,
done
of course.
Yeah.
I spent so much time taping things off the radio.
that. Yeah.
Used to listen to the top 40 countdown with Casey Kasem and tape and stand there with a cassette like next to the radio with like one of those old tape recorders and wait for the song I wanted. So I had all these recordings of songs that were like 3 seconds in. That's great.
I used to do that, but I had the one where like the radio was attached to the cassette player.
Oh, fancy.
So
We weren't that rich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neither do we. I had
Listen,
to go
I don't
up
mean to
to-
brag, guys.
When I met a friend of mine who had the dual cassette decks
Oh my
built
gosh.
in, I was like,
Unbelievable.
"Oh, you are
How do you
the richest
even,
person
you're
I've ever
making
met."
a tape recording of a tape? What?
Yeah, how do you even do that?
At
Is
that point,
possible?
you can just record all of his music that he has. Put tape over all of his cassettes and make copies of them.
And that's
not
why-
that any of us did that because that's illegal.
No, that's stealing music and it's wrong.
Yeah, you shouldn't steal music, kids.
No, you know what? You should be allowed to steal music if that's the only way you do it.
Agreed.
If you steal music by copying from
Cassette to cassette.
putting tape over that little tab that gets popped off.
Yep.
And then, you can steal music cassette to cassette.
But that's the only time that crime is allowed.
Or vinyl to vinyl.
Yeah.
If you have the equipment for it. If you have a dual dual record player. Those are really expensive. Do you remember from the Dr. Demento days?
Yes.
Do you remember a song? It was instrumental. It was called Hocus Pocus by a band named Focus.
That sounds familiar.
It was a very sort of overwrought metal thing with some sort of operatic yodeling in the middle. It was just a completely wackadoodle instrumental song. And it was Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Also in the instrumental category of novelty songs, A Fifth of Beethoven.
A Fifth of Beethoven is
I mean, it's a remix or mashup of an existing song.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Disco,
but there's also
disco version.
Is that also Miko? Who? No, it's not Miko. Because Miko is Dan McCoy. Is that who did A Fifth of Beethoven? I think.
don't know.
And then Miko did the Star Wars disco remix, which would also be under the same rules, a discofication.
A discofication.
The number one hit from the Time Lords, where they took the Doctor Who theme song and made a number one hit out of it in the 80s.
Doctoring the TARDIS.
Yeah, what's it called?
Doctoring the TARDIS.
Doctoring the TARDIS.
Doctoring the TARDIS.
Thank you.
That sounds like a euphemism for something.
Sounds real bad. I don't even want to imagine what that might be, but it's all I can do.
Don't know.
Hey, Hal, over
Yes.
here on the stairs,
Let's
the
go to-
search department says it was Walter Murphy.
Walter Murphy over there. I want to thank our Stairwell correspondent, John Hodgman, for that. It's really great.
Oh, it's great.
It gets
It's really
stuck
good.
in your head.
I was talking about this with a friend of mine that I knew at college, and he was like, we were listening to that song, and he was like, can you imagine what it was like to be the guy who came up with this thing and was just messing around and was like, da 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 dun 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 dun, and was like, yes, this is a hit.
I did it.
It's so clearly a fantastic idea. It's just like, it's pure and beautiful. I love it.
Is Popcorn a novelty song?
I don't know
What
if
is
I know the song.
Popcorn is-
Oh,
Hot butter.
I think I don't know if just being goofy, like just being a goofy instrumental tune makes it a novelty.
yeah.
I'm feeling you on that one, Ken.
There's not a lot of comedy in it, though.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
it's just it's pretty singable, too.
How do you feel about pieces, and these were on Dr. Demento, I'm thinking specifically about Taekwon Leap by the Frantics, which was an entire kung fu class, or he's being taught Taekwon Leap, but he keeps getting a boot to the head. He keeps going boot to the head. And then the song is boot to the head. Wah, wah, boot to the head. Wah, wah. And that is the song. I don't think it's the best novelty song, but there are others that sort of...
Is that off one of those like 60s albums where they're just sort of like long and conceptual,
That's from
like a Firesign
1987.
Theater kind of thing?
No, it's from 1987.
Oh, really?
87.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the 80s collection of Dr. Demento, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But I feel like here are two more that we should talk about. One is Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is that more of a novelty because it was Tiny Tim?
Boy, Tiny
who
Tim is
performed it?
such a weird space alien of an act. It's very hard to. I feel like it's very hard. I don't want to get too fancy with my words, but it's very hard to contextualize Tiny Tim. What was he doing?
Exactly. He was just a bizarre person.
He was a weirdo.
And you didn't know if it's just one of those songs that comes up like as a famous novelty song, but I don't think it feels like it's a novelty song because of the person, not because of the content.
It's like,
of the song.
it feels like a William Hung, Sanjaya
Also,
kind of
it's
thing.
not an original song.
Not an
Tiptoe Through the
original song.
Tulips?
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh.
Tiny Tim was really into finding obscure, like, music hall era songs and
Okay.
performing them.
Oh.
So it's by the Coulton rule, it is already.
Like the Bonzo
not
Dog
cold.
Bingo Band in their original incarnation would find music hall songs in the UK and do the same thing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think Tiny Tim was a sincere person with highly specialized interests and a very eccentric mode of being, who
Right.
transformed what he did into novelty.
Yeah.
So
His
the
act
song,
was-
he's a
he
novelty act.
was the
Yes.
novelty.
He
The
was
song
the
was not.
The song is
Right.
not necessarily a novelty song.
Right.
I'd
Yep.
agree with that.
Does a
like
novelty song...
Andy Kaufman's Rosemarie.
Right. Does it not, or his I Trusted You performance, which is one of my favorite things that anybody's ever gotten onto a live television show. You familiar with this?
No, what is that?
He was on Midnight Train, or Midnight Special, sorry. And they introduced him sincerely. This was before Taxi. They're like, this kid is cutting up the music charts everywhere. Please welcome Andy Kaufman. He's got a full band and somebody plays the guitar and they just play ding 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 ding, and for 5 straight minutes he just goes, I trusted you, I trusted you, I trusted you, I trusted you. And then they stop and the crowd cheers and then he goes, I trusted you, I trusted you. He like devolves into screaming it, stops 2 or 3 times and just continues
sounds
until
like
they
Andy
have to
Kaufman.
go into a commercial break.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's a good novelty song right there.
It is a good novelty
Winner.
song, but
Yeah.
but then that begs
that
the
home.
question.
Wrap it up.
That begs the question: does it need to be a good song musically? Because that song is catchy, but it's fun, but it's not like a musical masterpiece.
Joke.
Yes.
I feel like it's important to. I mean, my own as a songwriter, I don't like to do a funny song that has lousy music. I feel like it's very important if you're gonna do it, especially if you're gonna do a funny song. I feel like the music has to be kind of unimpeachable.
Sure.
Like you can't. Otherwise, it's just. Otherwise, this is one of the things I don't like about Adam Sandler's so-called funny songs,
Right.
is that they're not musically great, and they're
just sort of him talking quickly.
Sloppy Joe.
It's just-
Sloppy Joe.
yeah, it's just him doing a funny voice and pretending to be bad at singing, but also being bad at singing.
Right.
And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not. I feel like if you're going to write a funny song, you really need to think about the craft of songwriting.
Yeah. Have a little melody to it.
I remember laughing at the Hanukkah song the first time I heard it.
It's got some funny jokes in it,
but
It's got some funny jokes in it, but I think I'm with you on that.
but it's not a song. It's not a finished song. Write a song.
Yeah. And there's a difference in that song, the Hanukkah song, which I enjoy too, which made me laugh, is that it's more clever than it is funny. So you're enjoying like how many different people he's finding, and you're waiting for whatever rhyme he's setting up for the celebrity. But if we're gonna eliminate songs that are musically poor, we're probably going to eliminate "They're Coming to Take Me Away," haha, by Napoleon the 14th,
Which is a really fun novelty song.
But it
is
meets
pretty
a lot
fun.
of it. It's a really fun novelty song. It's
Yeah.
an interesting story. It has a twist ending.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for those of
No,
you who are
spoiler
listening.
alert.
Spoiler alert. The entire song you think he's been driven mad over a woman. It turns out to be his cat who has run away. No, his dog. His dog has run away.
Right.
He calls him Mangy Mutt. It's still not fun. But musically, it's just
It's
a
a
repetitive
tambourine
beat.
and a snare drum.
Yeah, it's meant to drive you insane as you listen to it. And my mother loved that song and would sing it all the time around the house, just for fun. Here's another one. The producers handed me a song, which I will throw in there, although I don't think it's the best, which is The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins by Leonard Nimoy.
By Leonard Nimoy. Yes.
That's a curiosity.
Because he's earnest about things.
Yes, that's something he's really way into.
Yeah.
And he has another
also
one.
not a
Does he
great
have a song
song.
about Smaug as well?
Does he?
I think so. I think he's got a
Cool.
couple. He has at least one other Lord of the Rings themed song. I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
he also has Highly Illogical, which was his Spock, which is a song at Spock.
Yeah, right.
About Spock observing the human race. I find that highly illogical.
I wonder if he regretted
that is
any of
called
those things.
just banking on your TV show.
I think that probably was the confluence of events that led him to write I Am Not Spock until he reconciled with that concept and
Listen,
wrote
if
I Am
I
Spock.
had a viable tagline, I would use it all the time. I would beat it into the ground.
Sure.
And then
Why
I would
not?
dig up the money that I found there.
We're getting close to an hour.
Yes.
And we need to start narrowing down.
I have saved.
How many do we have left?
I have saved the song that I think might be the winner, just because.
I've
it
also
is-
got another one that maybe I need to throw
Do
in.
you? Why don't you throw it in, and then I will throw in
And then you'll
what I
throw in
think.
the winner.
Maybe it's
and
the
then
same
John will
song.
tell us it's the Humpty Dance.
Maybe it's the same song. What were you thinking?
This is I didn't know that you were saving some big ones.
Well, there was one that just hasn't come up. I wasn't saving it, but we didn't get to it.
Stop fighting.
The one that I wanted
jerk.
to bring up. This is a song that and it's in the same. I don't know if exactly the same era, but the same vein as Purple People Eater and Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. This is a song that I feel had such an impact on children, because novelty songs I was the biggest fan of as a child. I listen to a lot now there, but as a kid, they were my bread and butter. I was a Ray Stevens super fan. I loved my Weird Al. I loved my Dr. Demento. But the song that made it into every single kid on that playground, that to this day I'm sure is still sung, The Name Game. Shirley Ellis's The Name Game.
Oh, right.
John, Boban, Banana, Fana, Fofan, Fee. That has made it through the decades.
I put that in the same category as John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, and that is just a repetitive.
But John Jacob Jingleheimer
Thing.
Schmidt is like a
Right.
schoolyard chant. This was written as a song that became so
It
ubiquitous.
was a hit song.
It was a hit song.
Yeah.
That has now for
Not funny. Move along.
Yeah. It's only funny when you know somebody named Tucker.
Yeah.
oh
Then
That's
it's
really-
pretty funny.
That's
Or
that's
Bart.
really where that base. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Bart.
yeah.
I think I'm 10. Tell you that Bart humor. Take that, Hitler. Okay, the song.
Originally, that song was called
Bart,
Banana
Bart.
Fana Fofart, and it was just
Yeah.
it was just Bart. And then they were like, "Oh, we could do it with other names too. Let's
Spike
generalize
Jonze
it."
version where it was Banana Fana Fo Heil.
Yes, that's right.
Somebody in the room said
Führer, Bubber.
somebody in the room said we could do it with other names than Bart, and then somebody else said why.
Yeah, why?
I think we've got
We've
it.
already found the
We've already
joke.
got it.
So what is
The song that has not come up yet, to my memory, is Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Keepers' Monster Mash.
Monster Mash is sort of the quintessential
I mean,
novelty song.
Mhm.
It's got all the comedy. It was made in a popular musical style. It lives to this
Wait a
day.
minute.
At the time,
It has an imitation of comedy.
It doesn't have a lot of jokes
I mean,
in it.
yeah, the joke is like that.
Imagine monsters
It
dancing.
sounds like Boris Pickett.
Yeah. Imagine monsters dancing and how hilarious that would be.
Do you
That's
think
the
there-
joke, right?
I wonder if there's somebody who hears it. They're like, "Oh man,
That's hilarious. They're doing a whole bit, like a Halloween bit. You got to hear this. Carol, come in here.
I sure hope the mummy doesn't show up." Oh my god,
there's the mummy. I can't believe they did the mummy.
Are there a lot of these novelty songs though, like outside of Tom Lehrer, where people sit around and go, "That was brilliant"?
Well, I know this is the problem with comedy songs is that
Yeah.
once you've heard them a couple of times,
Yeah.
you know the jokes. And
Exactly.
How
Right.
come no one has brought up They Might Be Giants?
They might be
They
giants.
might be
That's a good
giants is
point.
interesting. They don't strike me as. It just strikes me as stylistic for them rather than
Yeah.
they're creating
They are-
novelty.
I'm asking honestly because I am their fan.
Mhm.
Sure.
I am their friend.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about them getting pigeonholed in weirdo song territory because they are such consummate and brilliant musicians and songwriters.
Yeah.
But don't you think Triangle Man?
Triangle Man.
Triangle Man. We didn't have any.
Yeah,
Particle Man.
Yeah, you know, I think that I know what you're saying, and I think that I hesitate to call that a novelty song for similar reasons. And I think that just knowing them, I think that they do not think of these songs as novelty songs. I feel like that's a John Linnell song, and I feel like the thing that I love about They Might Be Giants is that they write these songs that are weird and goofy, but they take them very seriously. I feel like they're not meant to be jokes as much as they're meant to be evocative songs about interesting subjects. And you know, they also come at it from kind of a art angle, I think, more than a comedy angle.
To me, they come across. I mean, I don't know either of them.
Does he get when he goes underwater? Does he get wet, or does the water get him instead?
It's certainly a joke, but it's
one
also
of those profoundly beautiful jokes.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think they're really funny. I also think they've got a very specific style, and maybe that style might make people think that it's lighter music, which I don't think it is. I think they're also really smart, and I think that's what takes it out of novelty territory, is it's so intelligent.
Mhm.
The stuff like Song of the 50 States could easily be seen as sort of novelty-ish, but instead it's really smart.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not singing Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang.
Yeah. Everything, you have to listen to their lyrics. But they could sing Ting Tang.
They
Walla
could.
Walla
They'd be
Bing Bang,
great
and
at
it would
it.
be really. You
Well,
wouldn't think it was novelty.
so they
I don't
did a
think.
cover of a novelty song.
What did they cover?
Istanbul was Constantinople.
I didn't know that wasn't an original.
That is a cover. That is a cover, and that was a
Really?
novelty song. It's a pretty good one, especially the way they do it.
Yeah,
This is fun. Yeah.
Would never have thought anybody. I don't want to hear any other version of it. that
No, I
exists.
know. Why would you?
I would.
It's one of those
Was it
things. Where,
the Andrews sisters? Like I'm just picturing three girls.
you know, I
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul.
you know, I don't know. I don't know who it was. Boy, that's a contender though. That's a pretty good one.
It is. It is a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
But it's as previously done material.
Well, but it was originally a novelty song.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy. How do you have one? Do you have one chosen?
For some reason, I thought maybe it would be Monster Mash just because it fits the mold classically.
Mhm.
I do love.
But doesn't best connote some element of good?
Best does.
I feel like the
from
word
the stairwell
best does mean
Best
good.
means most good.
Most
doesn't it?
good, I think,
Yeah.
is what it means.
It's the
Yeah.
most good.
There's one more we should mention, which is Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini,
No.
which is more of a story than a song.
Yeah, I don't care
But
about it.
we said it for all you people who like that song.
With Monster Mash, weight it down and send it to the top.
You know what? Stick your finger in a glass of water, take it out, and the hole that's left is a measure of how much I like that song, so don't kid yourself.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a callback to an earlier.
Dang.
What are our top contenders? Right
I mean, it's so hard to.
You know what? I have to say,
Yes.
for me, this is going to be an unpopular decision. But for me, my thinking about the sort of classic age of novelty songs, and a song that has a lot of sentimental value to me because I listened to it over and over again as a kid. And also a song that I think is pretty solid musically, which is the Chipmunks' Christmas song, which makes me kind of misty. Even though it's the weird sped up vocal, which I feel like works in no other context besides the Chipmunks. It is also a bizarre idea. It's just this guy yelling at a bunch of chipmunks to sing a song. It launched a whole entertainment empire. And still, when I listen to it, it makes me feel very Christmassy and happy inside. And it's a solid bit of songwriting. It's got a great melody and 3-part harmony. It's well crafted. That's very high on my list, if not my favorite novel.
That was the one that when we were looking at them earlier, trying to compile this list, all of us sitting around were like, this was before you got here. I didn't mean to look at you when I said all.
Why are you looking at me? I wasn't even here, man.
Look, man, do you remember when we all did this? That was the song that we went, oh, there's a few of those when you're compiling a list like this.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones, that was up there.
Are you comfortable with that as a choice?
It's funny. I never thought of it as launching that empire, but the only reason that the Chipmunks exist is because someone figured out to speed up the recording or to sing really slowly and then speed it up.
Listen, there haven't been 3 Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer movies
yet.
That's true. There's not been a squeakquel or a threequel.
They're running out of ideas. So was there one? Oh boy.
No, there's a third. There's a third. There was a movie made. Oh, there's a TV movie made of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
There's
I think.
a CG movie.
Yeah, we don't need to ever talk about that.
Doesn't matter.
There's also
America.
I was telling these guys earlier, I don't know if it was just local to my area. There was a parody or a parody song of the Novelty song in Grandma Got Run Over by a John Deere. So everybody back in Tennessee.
That's disqualified for being a parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So
I am, you know what,
you don't have to defer to your guest. I don't mean to
think about this very carefully.
What is it? I was going to.
The musician is saying it's musically solid. It's undeniably influential. It's arguably funny. Kids still like it.
Yeah.
And technically innovative.
I still want a hula hoop. Oh, it's
What about some Humpty Dance?
Oh, well, it's your podcast. You say what you want. I know I'll still be right.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, do me a favor. While you're milking this moment for your decision, I'm going to go walk around the block.
Oh, no, I'm totally fine with it being the Chipmunks.
Okay, I am too. Stairwell correspondent John Hodgman.
Yeah.
Hang on, we're taking a poll of us on the stairs, and yeah, we all agree. We're
good. Oh, great.
All right. Well, then the only thing that's left is for me to say, people of the world, does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? I don't care. Don't answer. You slip in a pile of shaving cream? Who cares?
Do your ears hang low?
Yeah, do yours hang
Not
low?
my problem.
Do they wobble to and fro? Quiet, Mark.
You time in a knot.
Quiet. You quiet now, Mark.
I can time in a bow.
Can't do it. Can you throw them on your shoulder like a continental?
Like a continental? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my ears hang low.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I know a version of this that's a parody version. We only changed one word.
It does not rhyme with Tucker.
No, it rhymes with Halls.
There are tons of novelty songs out there. And you can like all of them. But if you don't think for 1 second that Christmas time is here, I think it's Christmas time
I don't
is here.
know the name of the song.
It's the Christmas song.
A song whose name we do not know.
If you don't think that the Christmas song by David Seville and his Chipmunks is the greatest novelty song of all time, then you can dip your finger in a glass of water, stick it right in your beehole like Jonathan Coulton was telling you to do earlier, based on those Williams brothers or whoever. I don't understand what the deal is. Why would you put your finger in a glass of water and then put it in your beehole? Certainly, if you did it in reverse, you'd be claiming that glass of water for all time. Probably just throw that glass in the garbage. I'm getting far afield. The point is, the greatest song of all time is being whistled behind me by the stairwell correspondent, John Hodgman. Christmas, don't be late. Because the song about you by David Seville and the Chipmunks
That was pretty good, Simon. You did a good job.
is the greatest novelty song of all time.
Theodore, you too. Good job.
Uh-oh, I hope Alvin listens.
Alvin, I need to talk to you about
Oh boy.
pitch.
Come on, Alvin, please listen this time.
Alvin.
Don't make him angry.
Hodgman!
okay.
And hey, somebody get a little Ritalin for Alvin. Just try it out. You only need to like crush it down and give him
I
a
feel
spec.
like
That's
Alvin
it.
is misunderstood. You know, a lot of these young kids, boys in school,
Yeah.
they're a little hyperactive. It's hard for them to pay attention. It's just a developmental thing.
Yeah,
Give
give
him
him
time to
time.
pump him full
Don't
of drugs.
medicate,
No,
but
give him
properly
time.
diagnose. Like maybe have him speak with somebody. That's what I did when I was a kid, and it made all the difference
You
for
spoke
me.
with somebody when you were a kid?
Look at me now. I've got 2 podcasts. There you go. Greatest
Wait,
novelty
what?
song of all time. Asked and answered. That's right, Mark. I cheat on you with wrestling every Wednesday. Tights and Fights.
You cheat on
Boom.
class with wrestling.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan,
Yes.
I know you probably have something to promote that we will promote with you because we're all doing it together this spring.
I do. I would like to promote a thing called the Joko Cruise.
Tell us about this cruise.
This is a cruise. This is the 7th year that I've been doing this. It's organized with Paul and Storm and another friend of ours, Drew. We put it together every year. It's a week-long vacation on a cruise ship with a bunch of comedians and musicians and entertainers. You guys are coming this year.
We
Yes.
are.
You're
Very
gonna
excited.
you're gonna do this podcast live
We
in front of
are,
our audience.
Absolutely, we are.
We've got musicians like Amy Mann and Ted Leo, John Roderick from The Long Winters, Zoe Keating. We've got authors like John Scalzi, Pat Rothfuss, Nora Jemison. Plus, we have, strangely, Matt Weiner, the creator of Mad Men.
Yeah,
This
that was
year? Very
exciting.
cool. Janet Varney.
Yes.
Oh, little Janet Varney.
Little
Yeah.
Janet Varney will
Little
also
Janet Varney.
will also
Varnes.
be there. Rhea Butcher, Cameron Esposito,
Love
Awesome.
them.
Aparna Nancharla.
Yes.
She, I discovered just because someone retweeted her once.
She's really funny.
And I started following her on Twitter a while back, and man, she is
She
funny.
is
And
so
now it's
funny.
so great to see her every time I see her on like at midnight or just popping up on shows.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
But it's a very fun week with a bunch of entertainment, but you're also on a cruise ship, and it's a giant bunch of nerds. And this year we have the whole ship.
Yeah.
We rented the cruise ship for a week, which is apparently a thing that you can do. And we now have total control over everything that happens on board that ship, and we don't have to share it with a bunch of people who are just there to play shuffleboard.
Do we get to decide where to go?
We do. We've already told them where to go.
Oh, where are we going out to international waters and committing crimes?
We can if we want.
Oh my God.
We are
Can
sailing
you just
out of,
go into the captain's, go into the wheelhouse and just be like, no, turn right.
I actually asked because I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to see if we could have the ship do donuts. But they won't allow that. They won't allow that. But I would love nothing more than to get on the ship's radio and be like, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jonathan Coulton speaking. We are now going to do donuts in this harbor, but they won't do it. Apparently it's a waste of fuel and it's dangerous and stuff like that. Because it is a giant cruise ship. You can't really do donuts very easily. Or you can, but they have
Can
to
you do wheelies?
You have to do like 100-mile diameter donuts. But it's a blast. I'm so glad that you guys are going to be there. It's a very fun week and real summer camp vibe. Yeah, so we're sailing out of San Diego and into the Sea of Cortez. A couple stops in Mexico. We're going to take over the town of Laredo, Mexico for an evening and do a sort of a outdoor festival for everybody.
Amazing.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast.
That is Joe Coachella, correct?
That's what we're calling Joe Coachella
That's that night?
until we are sued. But yes, it's Joko Cruise, jokocruise.com. Everybody should come.
Yeah. And for what you get to do, you get access to all these people, so you get to meet them. And from what I understand, not having been on the cruise, but I know Acker and Blacker have done it, and Paul F. Tompkins, John Hodgman, a lot of our friends have done it. And it is,
Good time.
yeah, it's just like a week of, it was described to me by Ben Blacker as like going to summer camp with all of your friends as an adult. So whatever it is that you enjoy doing, whether it's gaming, improv, podcasts, music, literature, it's all there, and you get to meet all these people, and it's not that experience you would expect at a con where everybody's behind stanchions.
That's right.
You're actually out hanging out with people, having dinner with them.
You will see me putting gravy on my mashed potatoes at the buffet restaurant probably every day. At
just
8
like
a.m.
everybody else.
At 8 a.m.
At 8
At 8 a.m., at 1 p.m., and at 6 p.m.
Hey,
That's
Jonathan,
right.
Are there any stairs on this ship?
Yeah, I think there are some stairs. Do you want to hang out on the stairs?
Maybe I better check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out. Mostly elevators, but there's some stairs. There's a grand staircase.
Oh, a grand staircase.
Oh.
You just haunt the grand staircase.
Think I'm ready for the big time?
Well, thank you for joining us
Yes.
today. Where can people find you online?
JonathanCoulton.com, at Jonathan Coulton in various social media.
Yes, if you are somehow not familiar with Jonathan's music, you should listen to it. It's fantastic.
I'm basically a novelty songwriter.
He's basically a novelty songwriter. He's the new Benny Bell.
We didn't mention
is
any
what
of
they
my
call
songs today.
Which
I feel is appropriate.
I feel like we should have said at the very beginning of the episode, present company is excluded from the list.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I also want to thank our stairwell correspondent, John Hodgman.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How are things over there on the stairs as we wrap up the episode?
Pretty good. The wind has died down.
Oh my gosh, do you need a microphone?
What? Oh, hang on a second. Can we start over?
Yeah. We'll just delete all
It'll be shorter now that we know where it's going.
When I'm not on the stairs, you can hear me on the Judge John Hodgman podcast, also on the Maximum Fun Network. You can find information about my live appearances on johnhodgman.com, specifically johnhodgman.com/tour. You can follow me at Hodgman and on Instagram as John Hodgman, because whoever is squatting on Hodgman is my enemy. Unless you're a real person squatting on me, then I'll make up my mind later.
Yeah, somebody has Jonathan Coulton on Instagram too, and I got to use real Jonathan Coulton.
Yeah, it's not right.
No, it's not right.
That's terrible.
I know. Stop squatting.
Yeah.
Hey, all you squatters, quit squatting.
Maybe the guy's name is actually Jonathan Coulton.
No, it's not. It's just a picture of me.
Stop squatting. Beep,
That's weird.
beep, beep.
It's Hodgman's
Stop
new song.
squatting.
Pre-existing tune. That was Rockin' Robin. Doesn't count. It's parody lyrics. This topic is settled, but there are many more topics. So reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets or on the Maximum Fun subreddit. There's probably a flame war happening right now.
You can also reach us on Facebook at facebook.com/We Got This Podcast or email us at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, who's here live with us in the room. Always making the show sound so good. Thank you also to researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
Thanks, as always, to Mike Furman and Jonathan Dinerstein for our award-winning theme song and score, respectively. And, of course, thanks to you, our listeners. You give us an opportunity every week to sit and BS about things and make the really important BS decisions. And we thank you for that, and we thank Jonathan Coulton for that, and we thank From the Stairs.
Move it along.
Yep. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.